I hope there are readers out there. Folks, reading books is good for your intelligence and appeal to your intellect. Pop culture's all right. The internet is all right. But more information can be gotten from books than what is on the internet. Believe it or not, the internet is heavily censored. Yes, the internet is heavily censored. Here's an example right in front of you of censorship. This book is called Censors at Work: How States Shape Literature by Robert Darnton. The book has 3 or 4 phases. One is about the French Revolution and how censors worked in France to censor people who were revolutionary. Another part of the book refers to Britain, England, when England invaded the nation of India, the Indian continent, and proceeded with censorship in India. And the last part of the book is about East Germany and how the censors worked in East Germany to censor revolutionaries and state dissidents. There's also a epilogue in the book. The reason why the book is so important is because it's harder for governments to censor books, newspapers, and magazines now, because everyone has a printer almost, or can find a way of printing materials. Not in like olden times where it was difficult to get a hold of a printing press, and printing presses were rather expensive. But almost everybody can get to a photocopier now to print material. The internet is heavily censored, we know that. For example, you can do a research check. When I was in community college, at the media class, there was a film shown. The official title of the film is called My Father's Habit. It's an old silent film. It was made around the 1900s. It has no sound. It's totally silent. The film's called My Father's Habit. But the hippies during the 1960s gave this silent film another name called Dope-A-Coke. The film cannot be found on the internet. It has totally disappeared. My suspicion is that not only is the internet deliberately censoring My Father's Habit, but also possibly some large international corporations bought up almost all the copies of the film, of the motion picture, called Dope-A-Coke. I mentioned in the past my mother was a romantic. She liked the romantic English poets. And she used to recite a poem called The Chinaman's Pigtail. I thought the poem was by a German poet called Heinrich Heine. But when I looked it up on the internet, I couldn't find it. My suspicion is that this poem has also been censored. The Chinaman's Pigtail is about a coolie. That's the lower class Chinaman. The pigtail was a symbol of low status. And whenever the Chinaman shook his head, the pigtail would follow behind him. It's supposed to be a humorous poem. It's disappeared. It's not on the internet. It can't be found. Another thing about books is that once you purchase a book, The print is static. The print stays where it is. Unlike the internet, someone can go back and change the text, censor the text. Maybe political correctness, maybe even state censorship for some deep secret reason that the national security agencies don't want you to know about. They can go back on the internet and censor. Interesting book. I'm not saying it's the best book on censorship, but it's extremely interesting, and it will give you insight into how governments work when they censor. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.